Hello and a very good afternoon. You're watching a brand new edition of Verdict 2016 right here on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are today's Verdict headlines. Chief Election Commissioner reviews poll preparations in Puducherry, meets senior police officials to meet representatives of political parties today. High-pitch campaigning in West Bengal and Assam. Prime Minister Modi to hold 3 rallies in Bengal. Sonia Gandhi to hold 2 rallies in Assam. Congress approaches Election Commission over TMC sting video. Party seeks de-recognition of the TMC after video purportedly shows TMC mafia links. Election Commission's reminder to political parties on usage of plastic asks parties to avoid using non-biodegradable material for campaigning. Well, let's now bring you the latest from Pollbound Puducherry. Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi is in Puducherry to review the poll preparations in the Union Territory. He is accompanied by Election Commissioner Om Prakash Rawat and senior officials of the Commission. The team held discussions with the Chief Electoral Officer and senior police officials. Chief Electoral Officer briefed the Commission of the arrangements being done so far. The Election Commission team will hold discussions with the representatives of political parties today. Later, the Commission will have discussions with the Chief Secretary and Inspector General of Police. It will also interact with senior police and enforcement officers and review arrangements for a free and fair poll. Well, our correspondent Akhilesh Suman joins us for more from Puducherry at the moment. Well, Akhilesh, as far as poll preparations itself are concerned, what are the kind of preparations that are in place in Puducherry to ensure free and fair elections?
Frank, before I go to the had a meeting with all political parties and very interesting things came out of the meeting. Congress has virtually threatened to boycott the poll if there is no action taken against 500 recruitments after the model code of conduct was promulgated in the state of Puducherry. So it is one of the major things that has come as a complaint from the Congress party that after model code of conduct was announced in the state government has recruited 5,000 people. That is against the model code of conduct and ethics of the election. Another thing that they also told that they will picket the office of Election Commission by the permission of the Congress High Command if Election Commission doesn't take any action against this trend, this decision of the state government, because it will be construed as favoritism and it will garner votes from those beneficiaries who had been benefited from these recruitments. On the other hand, BJP has said that there should be separate team to check the money and other freebies being given to the voters before the election. And the BJP has also demanded that posters and banners should be allowed at the place of meetings in the state of Puducherry, because the Election Commission has not allowed posters and banners to be displayed in the state anywhere during the election. So this is the major thing that has come out of the political parties. And again, there is a specific location of the Puducherry that has been divided into 4 states. Also, it doesn't have a continuous territory in the mainland of Puducherry. It is between in various parts of Tamil Nadu. So there is main focus is on coordination between one part of Puducherry to the another part, so that the election taking place in Tamil Nadu and election taking place in Puducherry, the criminals, the flow of money, these things are to be checked very promptly, so that there should be no inconvenience to the people who are coming for voting.
All right, Akhilesh Suman, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us there with those details and bringing us up to date with the latest from Puducherry. Moving on now, divided into 4 parts, just as Akhilesh was speaking about, Puducherry or erstwhile Pondicherry poses an administrative challenge. The government is seeking more powers for the Union Territory, but people have other issues. Let's take a look.
Non-stop migration from adjoining states like Tamil Nadu makes Puducherry vulnerable to complaints from residents that outsiders are taking away their jobs.
Migration, Pondicherry, now we are having the migration problem. It is ultimately it will coming unemployment problem also.
Despite being a peaceful region, many factories have closed down, mainly due to a lack of administrative incentives. Being a union territory, Puducherry's budgets are limited. Avenues to raise money for government's expenses are limited, and there is pressure on industries to meet the financial demands.
It's the biggest problem in Pondicherry because the population is very, very high in Pondicherry. A lot of factories closed now.
Government is in need of a lot of funds which have not been coming, at the rate at which it wants. And obviously what happens, the government, runs behind you to collect the taxes. Today, let's say the commercial tax department is collecting taxes in advance, which was something unheard of. But where the businessman doesn't have that type of a business to pay that tax.
While the place is known for its tourism potential, lack of proper infrastructure and absence of focus on cleanliness defeat the objective.
The main issues in the mind of the people are cleanliness and infrastructure. If you have proper cleanliness here, you are going to attract a lot of people from abroad. And if you are going to attract a lot of people from abroad and all over the country, let us say, you can have real development in this place.
Unlike other states, Puducherry has some distinctive features. Constituencies are very small, each with a voter list of 30,000 or so, which makes politics here very personalized. Candidates have to be chosen with care since people vote on the basis of individual affinities.
Having a French legacy, Pondicherry has certain European attraction, and that is why people from inside the country and also from the outside country come here for tourism and relaxing. But the big question is whether Pondicherry can sustain that identity due to migration in this state. Akhilesh Suman with camera person Om Prakash in Puducherry for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, joining me for a chat right now is Parsa Venkateshwar Rao Jr., editorial consultant of the DNA. Parsa, welcome. Thank you for joining me on the program. Puducherry, Puducherry is a small union territory that we've neglected almost in our program.
Yeah, it
2016.
looks as though it's an extension of Tamil Nadu and
Yes.
doesn't have an existence of its own, but it does have a distinct identity of its own.
Indeed, and all parties are vying for those 30 seats in Puducherry as well. The AIADMK has
Absolutely.
decided to contest alone in all the 30 seats. So it's interesting what's happening now in Puducherry.
In the sense, right now, I think what has happened is the peculiar position in Puducherry is that a local man, the NR Ramaswamy Congress, he is the one who seems to have sort of pushed out, at least for the last one decade, the major regional parties
Yes.
from Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Otherwise, it was either if Tamil Nadu election was reflected in Puducherry.
Yes.
If DMK won in Tamil Nadu, then DMK would win in Puducherry. Same with DMK. But now in 2011 and 2006 onwards, NR Ramaswamy seems to have said, look, we have our own politics and we have our own identity. The question now is whether he can last. There seem to be quite a few problems there with Ramaswamy. Himself, he seems to be a very simple, direct man with a lot of mass popularity and all that. But he doesn't seem to be delivering fully on the administrative obligations of the government or in the economic improvement. And political observers notice a very distinct personality cult, which is again an extension of the Tamil Nadu politics. Though even the critics say that Ramaswamy himself remains unaffected by the adulation and the cult phenomena that is going around him. But that may not be sufficient because I think Puducherry has to find its own feet in more ways than one. If you see that the territory is sort of extended.
Yes.
There is a part of it in Tamil Nadu in Karaikal. There is a part of it in Kerala in
as
Mahi.
well. Yes.
And there's a part of it in Andhra Pradesh in Yanam. I mean, these are the French occupied territories which were all grouped together and made into the Puducherry. And Puducherry still retains quite a bit of its French connections due to the fact that the French also cherish their old colonial links and they extend the citizenship and all that. And some facilities are there. Something which you would notice in Goa,
Yes.
that there is a special relationship with Portugal
Portuguese.
in spite of the end of the colonial thing. In one way, I think it would be necessary on the part of everyone to see to it that Puducherry retains its own character and identity, which is unique in more ways than one.
You know, one of the biggest challenges that Puducherry faces, and you rightly pointed out as well, is an administrative challenge because, you know, it's a union territory at the end of the day. So there is a major fund crunch. And, you know, do you think that that is going to be the single largest factor in these elections?
I think the fund issue perhaps cannot be solved so easily, because even if it were to be given the status of a state, the state would have to find ways of how to generate the funds by scaling up the economy. Now, how much a small area like Puducherry can scale up the economy? It can do quite a lot. I mean, it is not an impossible thing. If they do something like fishing, something like tourism, and perhaps they cannot imitate the bigger states in going for huge industrialization because they may not have that kind of potential. And secondly, the fear, as expressed in your report, that the migration of so many people into Puducherry for seeking jobs does sort of pose a threat in one way. So there is a need for both the political class in Puducherry and the intelligentsia to find out what is it that they would like to do to keep Puducherry a vibrant economy as well as retain its cultural identity.
Indeed. Remains to be seen, of course, what happens. But we'll slip into a short break now. Parsa, do stay with us. I'll come back to you later on in the program to get your thoughts on some of the other states that we are tracking here on Verdict 2016 as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, from Puducherry, let's go further up the coast and get you the latest from West Bengal. Well, the final voter turnout in the first part of phase 1 of the assembly poll held in Maoist hotbed of Jungle Mahal in West Bengal was 84.22%. According to the final report of the Election Commission, the average turnout in 18 constituencies in the 3 districts of West Midnapur, Bankura and Purulia was 84.22% of the electorate. The Salboni constituency in West Midnapur district recorded the highest turnout of 90.18%. The lowest turnout was registered in Purulia constituency in Purulia district with 79.76%. Out of the 18 seats, 13 are treated by the Election Commission as left-wing extremism affected constituencies. Well, the BJP will continue its election campaign with its star campaigner, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, slated to address 3 rallies in the state. Narendra Modi will address rallies in Madarihat, Asansol and Siliguri. In all, the Prime Minister is addressing 10 rallies in the state. The BJP is targeting the Mamata Banerjee government over violence in Kaliachak and Malda, where a large mob set fire several vehicles and attacked a police station in January. Well, the Congress has approached the Election Commission for cancellation of TMC's recognition. This comes after a sting video in which a TMC candidate is purportedly seen as accepting working closely with syndicate mafia in West Bengal, where assembly polls are underway. In the complaint sent through email, the party has referred to the perpetrated conversation in the sting operation and said that the revelation by the media discloses a shocking state of affairs and it will substantially affect the conduct of polls. The party has urged the EC to immediately requisition the video footage and also cancel recognition of the TMC under the election symbol order. Well, CPIM Secretary Sitaram Yechury has said that the high voter turnout in the first phase of West Bengal elections has given him hope that a wave of change will sweep the state. Yechury had defended the party's decision to align with the Congress, saying it is not a political alliance, but an alliance of the people to combat the Mamata Banerjee government in the state.
फर्स्ट स्टेज इलेक्शन के बाद हम कॉन्फिडेंट है कि इस बार बंगाल के अंदर एक राजनीतिक बदलाव आ रहा है.
Let's now go across to Pastor Venkateshwar Rao Jr., editorial consultant of the DNA, who's still with us on the program, and talk to him about this. You know, high voter turnout, 84.22% of voter turnout in the first phase of polling in West Bengal. This was expected because in the past as well we've seen such high voter turnout, but clearly a pat on the back for the Election Commission because it has ensured that the polling has gone on smoothly and, effectively.
Yeah, I think the Election Commission needs to be commended for its arrangements. And I think the people themselves are quite participative in the election. And as you have said, it has happened earlier too. What is more interesting is whether this indicates the marginalization of the Maoist groups, or is it the fact that the people want to sort of assert their own thing, and they say, even if we cooperate or go along with the Maoist groups, we are not going to shun the electoral system.
Indeed. One aspect that we haven't spoken about is the fact that, there has been a lot of violence reported in West Bengal over the last 2 or 3 years. And, the blame has been put on the Trinamool Congress. Do you think that that's going to play a major role in these elections? Is that going to be a major factor? Are we going to see some violence in the upcoming phases of elections?
Unfortunately, in West Bengal, violence is endemic. And I still can't understand what is the sociological reasoning behind it, especially political violence. It seems to be widespread. It is across the party lines, and they are quite ruthless. And it goes very much against the general impression of a Bengali being more engaged in debate and in political thing rather than in violence. Active and vocal.
Yes.
But this resort to violence is something that is perplexing, to say the least. I think there will be sporadic incidents of violence. They will continue because it's part of the political culture. And unless the different political parties make some special efforts to restrain it, I don't think it is going to happen all on its own, or it is not going to happen because you deploy a sufficient number of security forces to sort of check it. Because you can check it during a certain phase, like in the elections. But this is something that goes on all the time. And that is the worrying part of the political culture in West Bengal.
6 phases of elections to go. The first
and
one is just
perhaps that's the reason the Election Commission felt that there was need to spread it out, phase it out, so that it's possible to deploy the forces and then see to it that the violence is brought down to the minimum.
So the Election Commission has its hands full as far as West Bengal is concerned.
Absolutely.
All right, Parsa, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us. Well, moving on. Now, 421 nominations have been filed for the third phase of West Bengal polls. Polling for the third phase will take place in 62 assembly seats on the 21st of April. The constituencies are spread in Uttar Kolkata and Burdwan, Murshidabad and Nadia districts as well. Today is the last day for withdrawal of nominations.
ये चुनाव पहला चुनाव है जहां हम असेंबली में और सरकार बनाने के लिए टारगेट रख के लड़ रहे हैं 148। पहली बार बीजेपी अपने बलबूते पर बूथ स्तर तक संगठन खड़ा करके लड़ाई कर रही है। अभी तक केवल भाग लेने में हम खुश रहते थे, आज भाग नहीं है, सरकार में भागीदारी की बात कर रहे हैं हम। आज बंगाल में जो माहौल है बीजेपी की तरफ, ये पहले कभी नहीं था और इतना दूर तक नीचे तक संगठन भी कभी नहीं था। इसलिए नया बीजेपी नए ढंग से लड़ रही, नई उम्मीद के साथ, मुझे लगता है कि बंगाल इसको स्वीकार करेगा।
Well, with campaigning for assembly polls underway in the 5 states, the Election Commission has reminded the political parties about the bad effects of plastic and asked them to avoid using it for making banners and posters for electioneering. The Election Commission also recalled the earlier instructions on the matter issued in 1999, 2003, 2004 and 2006. The Commission made the appeal in the interest of environment protection and asked parties to advise their cadre suitably. The fresh instructions by the Election Commission come against the backdrop of campaigning underway in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry. First phase of elections have already taken place in West Bengal and Assam. 6 60 major cities in India together churn out over 3,500 tons of plastic waste every day. Well, let's now go across to West Bengal's neighbouring state of Assam and get you the latest from Assam. Campaigning for the second and final phase of polling is on in full swing in Assam. Congress President Sonia Gandhi will address election rallies today in Barpeta and Jagi Road. In her previous rally in the state in Sivsagar on March 30th, Sonia had launched a scathing attack on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She had alleged in her rally speech that the Modi government is biased towards Assam.
मुझे खुशी और गर्व भी है कि आज मैं इस ऐतिहासिक धरती से कांग्रेस पार्टी के चुनाव
Well, Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, who is seeking a fourth term in office, is absolutely confident that the Congress will retain its majority in the state. He says that he's quite confident that the people will bring back the Congress as the party has brought about change for the better in the state. On the overwhelming voter turnout in the first phase of polling, Gogoi said that the people had come together to defeat the BJP's politics of hatred. He dismissed claims that people had come out in large numbers to vote for change. Let's listen to what he had to say.
There is no need for hung assembly. We'll get an absolute majority on our own. We are going to form the ministry, and people of Assam, they are quite politically conscious. They will vote for one-party rule.
Well, let's now get you the latest from Pollbound, Tamil Nadu. Well, ahead of the May 16th Assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, State BJP in charge Muralidhar Rao has called on people to come out in large numbers and vote to bring about change in the state of politics in Tamil Nadu. Speaking to media persons in Coimbatore, Rao said that both major parties, the DMK and the AIADMK, have become distant from people's issues. He said heads of both parties are not in a condition to meet people, and that's why have no idea about their problems. For this, he cited the example of the recent Chennai floods. He said it's important for leaders to be present physically amongst people, at least in times of their sufferings. That, Muralidhar Rao said, is not happening in the state right now. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Today we have leader in the government and leader in the opposition who are not able to physically interact with the people of Tamil Nadu regularly, frequently, and they are also unable to attend the people who are facing crisis. For example, we have seen in Chennai floods.
Well, moving on to Kerala now and bring you the latest from there. Kerala Chief Minister Oman Chandi has hit out at the CPIM for expressing reservations over total prohibition of liquor. The Chief Minister also targeted the left for advocating liquor abstinence. Speaking at a UDF convention, the Kerala Chief Minister alleged that the left intends to do away with the Congress-led UDF government's liquor policy. Chandi was reacting to the statement of CPIM Politburo member Pinarayi Vijayan that total prohibition was not practical, and if LDF comes to power, it would encourage abstinence. Vijayan had said LDF would hold a campaign in the state with anti-liquor outfits on the ill effects of liquor, and that CPIM was not a party that encourages liquor. CPIM State Secretary Kodurai Balakrishnan had also said they were against total prohibition. Meanwhile, CPIM has said that a high-level probe will be launched to identify people behind alleged dubious land deals done by the Congress-led UDF government in Kerala if the LDF is voted to power in the May 16th Assembly polls. The Left Democratic Front hit out at the Congress-led UDF government for allegedly selling off ecologically sensitive government land illegally. Eminent environmentalists have also voiced concern over the government's land policy. The Chandi government was recently enforced to cancel a decision to hand over about 127 acres of surplus land to a private company allegedly having links with controversial godman. The government had also been made to backtrack on granting permission to an eco-tourism project in 420 acres of land at Metrankayal backwater paddy fields and a super speciality Medicity project in 47 acres of paddy land in Kochi. Well, senior Congress leader K. Muralidharan, the son of former Kerala Chief Minister K. Karunakaran, is confident that his party will be able to return to power. He says that the Congress has done developmental work for the state and he would want that to continue.
What are the main issues, Mr. Muralidharan, you think these are of this area which are required to be addressed?
See, we have done so many things in the last 5 years. And the Kerala government also done so many things for Trivandrum, especially this Vizhinjam harbour. Then a vast road from Kerala to Tamil Nadu, Karamana Kali Kavala road. It was expanded. And so many other development things, including Techno Park. So many units had started. So, in so many things in this area. And in the 35th national game, we had a very good stadium in Karakutam, as a neighboring constituency. And in shooting range was started in my segment, my assembly segment, Vatikurkau. That it may, now it is converted as a shooting academy. And
on this edition of Verdict 2016. See you again next time.